Hello, what is trustworthy leadership all about? That's what I'm going to share with you through an anecdote shared by Jairam Ishwaran and published in the recent episode of Business World. The MD and head HR of a company are returning after a board meeting in US. They're traveling back in business class, having all the sumptuous food in front of them, but both looking quite serious. In fact, the head HR had not even eaten anything. That's when the MD asked him, "Is what happened in the board meeting yesterday still weighing heavily on your mind?" And that's when they started talking what had happened in the meeting yesterday. The chairman, after looking at the numbers presented, had given a very clear message that something is not right with your teams. Agreed that there is a setback in software industry, but how is it that competition has still been able to do much better than us and we are trailing far behind? You need to shape up or I would be talking to the new team. That was the stern warning. They were worried about that. What was worrying them even more was that part of this information would have already leaked to Indian team, and what would they be thinking? Then the MD assured, "I'm sure we'll be able to survive this." They got back to India, settled down, and when the situation was assessed, there was an element of truth that the rumor had already started floating around that there would be widespread layoffs. Lists are being prepared for people to let go. And this is a situation which perhaps no head HR likes, because in such situation, the biggest worry is that the best people would leave the earliest. And how do you handle such a situation? That's when head HR approached the MD and said, "This is the time that you need to speak to our people, restore their confidence." Initially, the MD said, perhaps the COO can speak to people as a regular briefing. However, the head HR insisted that the only you need to speak to people, only then the confidence will be restored, because people trust you more than anyone else. The head HR wanted the MD to give a message that there are not going to be any layoffs. Rest assured about that. The MD asked, what if we actually have to lay off people down the line? What will happen to our credibility at that time? That's when the head HR said, perhaps you can say something like this: "At this moment, there are no layoffs being planned." Say it in so many words. The MD finally agreed, and a video conference was arranged, and there was widespread presence to listen to the MD. The MD said, "At this moment, there are no layoffs being planned. Rest assured about that. And if there is anything that happens in future, I will be the first person to bring it to your attention, to bring it to your notice." And lo and behold, after this message was sent across to all the places, all the people in the company, there were no further rumors about layoffs being planned in the company. And they were able to sail off this crisis. Now the question is, what happens when there is a crisis situation? Rather than running away from it, the best way to approach a crisis is to face it head on and take people into confidence. If you are the person speaking to your own people, perhaps that is the best source of information. Rather than they getting a message from third party, any other source, which they cannot fully trust, the message needs to come from you as a leader of your team, as a leader of your organization. And we need people in organizations who can speak with trust. What is so common in leaders which are trustworthy? Common factor is they mean what they say and they say what they mean. When that is aligned, that's when the trust is experienced. So if you want to become a trustworthy leader, start aligning what you mean and what you say. That's when people will listen to you. That's when people will trust you. I wish you all the best, and I'll meet you in my next video. Stay safe, stay healthy.